Welcome to the Mystical Truths Podcast. This is Rebecca, and I'm really glad you're here. Let's unlock your world. Like so many things that are being unveiled, uncovered, outed these days, so now is the understanding of what readings are and what they're not, and whether or not they should be legal. For example, my sister recently sent me an article that states Pennsylvania Representative Greg Scott has introduced House Bill 1562 to repeal Section 7104 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, which bans fortune-telling as a third-degree misdemeanor. So Representative Scott believes the bill is outdated, that it threatens the livelihoods of spiritual workers, and a lot of people feel that it misunderstands the nature of practices like tarot reading, which are for self-reflection, inner reflection even, rather than future predictions. And so I'm so glad to see this because I really agree with it and I have something to say about it. Let's first take a look at the offense itself. And I have a copy of the 7104 in the Crimes Code of Pennsylvania. If anybody wants a copy of it, just text me or email me and I'll send you one. But it basically, this is how it's defined. A person is guilty of a misdemeanor of the third degree if he pretends, which I never do, for gain or lucre, to tell fortunes or predict future events by cards, tokens, the inspection of the head or hands of any person, or by the age of anyone, or by constituting the movements of the heavenly bodies, or in any other manner for gain or lucre, pretends to effect any purpose by spells, charms, necromancy, or incantation, or advises the taking or administering of what are commonly called love powders or potions, or prepares the same to be taken or administered, or publishes by card, circular sign, newspaper, or other means that he can predict future events, or for gain or lucre, pretends to enable anyone to get or recover stolen property, or to tell where lost property is, or to stop bad luck, or to give good luck, or to put bad health on a person, or shorten his life, or give success in business, speculation in games of chance, or to win the affection of a person, or to make one marry another, or to induce a person to make or alter a will, or to tell them where money or other property is hidden, or tell where to dig for treasure, or to make a person to dispose of property in favor of another. So they've pretty much covered a lot of ground there. I mean, I definitely agree that has to be updated, that needs to be changed. But I also agree with it in part. I never really was concerned about this because I don't pretend. And I don't tell anyone's fortune. And I think, these laws like this came because there have been people who have done some pretty rotten things in the name of readings. And that combined with the fears of people over the years. I think I mentioned in a previous podcast episode that friends of mine years ago their son was in a Catholic school. No, actually, it wasn't Catholic. It was a Christian school of some type. And they came to me one day and they said, look at this paper that he brought home in his book bag. And it's 2 columns. The left column is the devil's copy. The right column is God's original. And I'll just read you a few of these, but God's original are pastors. The devil's copy are high priests. Discerning of spirits is God's original. Clairvoyance is the devil's version. The Holy Spirit, God's. The devil's mediumship. Tarot cards, of course. Ouija boards, seances, prophets, palmists, all on the devil's side. God's version of that is God's leading in prayer. So I'm glad that we're sort of coming full circle or maybe bringing all of this together, because people have feared things that are full of love and guidance. And so what is a reading? Let's talk about that. And actually, I think maybe first let's talk about what a reading isn't. I believe that a reading should not be telling you what to do or what not to do, because the other side, our guidance, God, creation, doesn't tell us that. We have free will. So there's always a stream of guidance coming our way, but there's not insertion. There's not anything that's being put into your life or decided for you into this physical experience that you're having. So if the other side doesn't tell us what to do and what not to do, why would we tell other people that? The other side doesn't necessarily tell us when something is going to happen or how it's going to happen, because we have free will and there's synchronistic intertwining of everything constantly, and it's always changing according to what everybody's thinking and staring at and everything else. So that's powerful. That's where our power is in that free will. A reading also should never be anything negative. People will say to me, well, I really would like to get a reading with you, but I don't want to hear anything bad. And I always say, well, that's good, because I don't deliver anything bad. I don't really think there is necessarily bad. There's the unliked, the unwanted. There is always guidance about how to take that in a different direction, how to get the honey out of it and then be done with it. Reading is really not predictions. And the reason for that is because that would make people say, well, then why should I even get a reading, right? If it's none of that stuff, because that's what we think we all want. We think we all want somebody or something to tell us what's going to happen, what to do, what not to do. But that's not why we came here. We came here to expand and explore with our free will all the choices and variety that are here. So, for example, most often when people come to me for a reading, they're feeling some sort of way about something, and they want some guidance about that. So if I energetically feel or take a look, explore, even through cards, what is out there ahead of them right now? Like, what does your world vibrationally look like right now? And what could be out there? Chances are they're not going to like a lot of it, because they haven't pre-paved it very well on that topic or topics. So what I came to understand a long time ago is my position here really is to use guidance, even like tarot, because tarot is a beautiful thing. There's no negative card in there. They're all very good guiding cards about life and how it works and how to get through it well. So what I've learned is that if I look at where you're at right now, I can gain some guidance about how that could be better, or how you can steer yourself in the direction of what you want, or how you want to improve any aspect of your life. There's a big difference between those two things, right? If I'm just going to read you where you're at right now, that's not going to help you much. It's just going to reinforce what you kind of already knew and were dreading or worried about or whatever, or confused about even. But if I can get a glimpse of where you're at right now and look in the direction of better, of more, of expansion, and talk about that, now you can make your own decisions. Your own thought process remains yours and not somebody else's. It's not anybody else's position to tell you what you should do, or when you should do it, or how you should do it, who you should marry, what job you should take. But we can help you get a feel for where those better options are. Where is life lighting up for you, and where is it not? So that brings us kind of around to what a reading really is. It's guidance, life guidance, that works right along with your free will to help you see better, to help you feel your way through life better. Because once you understand that everything is synchronistically combining and recombining all the time, Everything is matching up synchronistically with its like. Then you can understand how to get your power back in that and listen to your own inner guidance even. And I really recommend, if you're going to get a reading, that you find someone who has their ethics in order and their understanding of how this all really, really works. There are a lot of people doing readings that I don't agree with. For example, somebody came to me a long time ago, and at the end of our session, she said, I just want to ask you a question. I went to a psychic before. I don't consider myself a psychic, by the way. I'm intuitive. That word's just been damaged. Anyway, she said, I went to a psychic, and she told me that this beautiful diamond ring that I have had bad energy. It was bad luck for me. It was causing bad things in my life. And that if I would take that off and just get rid of it, my life would improve. And she said, I really love the ring. It's an expensive ring. I put it away. I didn't sell it or get rid of it. But should I? And I said, absolutely not. Things have energy, but no ring that you put on your finger is going to bring you bad luck and control your whole life unless you think it is. Then it's still not going to do it, but you're going to attract the things that look like that. So I said, take the ring back, kiss it up to God, put it out in the sun, whatever you want to do to make you feel better about clearing its energy. Love it, adore it, appreciate it, put it back on your finger. It then, because of your love and appreciation, will improve. Not bring you good luck, that life doesn't work that way, but will improve your whole set point. And then, therefore, everything that comes to you from that point on. And that's why, I even saw a little video on that article where they were interviewing a tarot reader, and she very well explained that the cards are guidance. They never dictate what's ahead or what somebody should do. And I know that sounds a little disappointing to people, but this is the way it is. This is just the way it is. We've learned, people before us have learned by trial and error that we can try all kinds of tricks to make life work out better for us. But they're just tricks at that point. Nobody can put bad luck on you or give you good luck. Just like I've said before, nobody's responsible for your happiness either. Nobody can give you your happy. You can't take somebody's happy. We're each responsible for our own. But, we do have the, what's it called? The placebo effect, where if I give you a powder or tell you that $500 will take away all your problems, and I'm very convincing about it, it may very well work, not because the powder or the money had anything to do with it, but because you believed it, and out of your belief, you created it. So I definitely don't think that's the way to go, though. The placebo sort of idea with anything is not very powerful. What's better is to help us each understand that we don't need the things. And there are things on this planet that are here to assist us and help us, and that's all good. But we don't need the thing to make the improvement fully. We need our inner workings, right? Our inner guidance, our understanding of how thoughts work, how energy works, how synchronicity works. So with that said, I really totally agree with Greg Scott. I would love to see them update this and help people to understand that the days of sort of trickery are pretty much over. There are still people out there doing screwy things. Of course, there are in any profession. But most have learned, and not that it's not that everybody in the past was doing goofy things. There have always been really great readers and life guides that did not try to have anybody depend on them. That's another thing that a good reader never does, is to expect people to depend on them for their guidance. We teach you how to follow your own guidance You can come back and check in with us as often as you want. I have people that talk to me weekly or biweekly, not because they need to or because I tell them that they should, only because this is a big world and it gets pretty difficult for a lot of people. And you go out into that world and you bang around and you just need a reset. You need to look at, okay, where's my energy now? What am I synchronizing around right now? And then back out you go, right? And you get better and better and better at it naturally. So how to get a good reading? Because here's how not to get a good reading, especially with somebody like me that's a feeler. I'm more empathic than the other types of intuition, but I have them all, like everybody. Over the years, I've noticed when people come to me in a very skeptical way or very shut down way, it's more difficult. Now, it's become less difficult over the years, but it can be very difficult. It's like chiseling through a brick wall. Because years ago, I've heard people say things like, don't show your wedding ring, don't say anything, don't put, make any facial expressions. Let's see if this person can prove that they're really, the good one. And I get all that. I do. But it really honestly is just working against you. I'm not saying that you should sit down and spill your whole life story, but you should just be open, relax, right? So what do? You relax, you expect helpful guidance before you even get there. Your expectation paves the way for everything, including a good session with a reader. Remember that all intuitives are different. Everybody has a different style. We receive in different ways. And I would decide in advance, do you want this to be a general overall kind of a thing? Like just what's going on in a general sense and what comes up around you? Or are you looking to address specific areas or an area of your life so that you can make the best use of the time that you have with that reader? And it also puts your intention in a specific space. So again, pre-paving. And two, remind yourself that the ones that are really good readers don't snoop because we really can't. It doesn't work that way. And what I mean by that is if you say, well, what's my so-and-so up to? Can you get into their energy and tell me, where their money is or if they're sleeping with other people? May be able to give you a little bit, background, especially as your energy speaks of it. But we're not looking into anybody's stuff. I have no interest in doing that. Somebody said to me years ago, we were out at a dinner. Somebody said, well, my husband doesn't really want to sit by you. And I said, why? Well, because he thinks that you're going to read his stuff. And I thought that's kind of a red flag, but but I said, whatever. I don't. I'm out having a dinner. I really am not looking at anybody's stuff, and I don't. And also remind yourself that we don't have access to every detail. We don't have access to everything. We have access to what is available. In other words, what is beneficial for you right now. That's why, I always say with mediums, if the person you want to connect with didn't come through, maybe some others did, there was just good purpose for that right now. Everything's in a good synchronistic divine order. So during your session, state your desires. It's going to be an overall or some specific part of your life. And then relax and just be open to the process. Respect the process. Respond if there are dots that you can connect, go connect them. Let us know that makes sense or that doesn't quite make sense. I don't understand that part. So that we know, because it's sort of like we're sniffing the trail of energy and we are trying to connect the dots too. It's not like there's a parrot on the shoulder that says, okay, verbatim, this is what we say. We're feeling, seeing, sensing the essence, the energy, and translating it into human words. Also keep in mind, there may be things that come up that we're off, like we started to go down the wrong avenue with it. And if you let us know, we'll back up, reassess, and get better clarity about it. But sometimes there are things that you can't connect the dots now, but you will later. It may hit you later. Be respectful of the reader's time. I know a lot of people would like more time, more time, more time, but that's not really fair. And a lot of us are so nice that we'll. And I really don't mind if I go over with people here and there because I'm not going to stop. When the clock stops, I'm not going to say, yep, okay, we're done. I want to play this out, right? I want to finish what we're talking about or what topic we're on. I want to make sure that we wrap it up. But my suggestion is to just be respectful of that person's time and speak up if you need more clarification on anything that's being said. Most of us will say, does that make sense to you? You could just say yes or no. After a reading, reflect on the guidance that came through. Because again, this was not a session of telling you what to do and what not to do, or what's going to happen or what's not going to happen. It was a lot of great guidance. So do your best to be positive about it and allow the changes that you want. Because after my sessions, I know the people I've been with are in a higher vibrational state. They're in a better place of attracting. So ride that out, right? And if you start to derail, come back and get you back on track again. And the more often you do that, the easier it becomes for you to get yourself back on track even. That's why I do this podcast. But I think, like anything else, we all can use an extra input or insight, somebody that can look at our energy, our life from a broader perspective that isn't so close up to it. And then remind yourself that you have the power to create your world and your future. You're always doing it anyway. You're always creating your own future. So if your today has some not really good points to it, those are the areas of your life that need an improved vibrational state. Because your state of being is your state of getting, your state of receiving, whether it's health, relationship, family, job, money, all the different topics that people are interested in. Your vibrational state of being equals your vibrational bringing in of that stuff. So obviously, I think that readings are great. I don't think everybody needs one. I don't think people need them every day, all day long. And I don't think people need to be told when to get one. When you feel like it's a good idea for you, it's a good idea for you. That's an inspiration. And then seek out someone that you feel comfortable with, that you feel is also educated and sees the honey in everything, sees the positive, and is willing to help guide you in that direction. So that's all I have to say about that. The laws are changing. The understandings are unfolding. More people are talking about these things. More people are educating themselves about these things. So the fear of what is a reading and is there bad information in there is going out the door. It's a wonderful thing. And funny enough, the representative of this bill that I was just talking about, the Greg Scott, I had to laugh when I read that article because I thought, Greg Scott, that's my buddy Lou, who is no longer in physical, died suddenly a few years ago. And we just had a special friendship. And he would text me every Tuesday after bowling. And we would send maybe a Christmas card or gift to each other. Really cool guy. So that's a shout out to Lou. And I also wanted to say thank you to all of you out there because I was looking over the areas where people have been listening. And so thank you to Ireland, those of you that are in Ireland, Waterford, Dublin, in England. There are quite a few places around England, Germany. So thank you. And the States, that's where most of you are at that are listening. Definitely where I live, around the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, New Kent, Irwin, Cranberry, Apollo, Titusville, Greensburg, Seneca, Homestead, Ford City, Tarentum, Philly, Jeanette, Sarver, Mount Pleasant, Irwin, McKees Rocks, St. Mary, Johnstown, Aliquippa, Mars, McKeesport, Altoona, Glassport, Conneaut Lake. I know who you are. North Carolina. Oh, no, that's not in Pennsylvania. So we'll go next one. North Carolina, the state of Washington, Hawaii, and I know Carrie in Hawaii, but there are some others that are listening there as well. Arizona, Maryland, Florida, Ohio, Washington, Texas, New York, California, Oklahoma. And then there are some lower numbers that are coming in from Oceania, Africa, South America, that kind of thing. So it's just fun, especially since I have not done a lot of podcasts lately because I've been extra super busy. So I'm getting back on track with that now. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And but soon I want to talk about the expansion of us individually or personally and as a whole. There's a whole universal thing that is kind of mind expanding I want to talk about. And soon I'll be also going over what some previous humans have shared about how to get what you want in life. You know, how this game really works. And it's just some great teachers that I think have had some really powerful, insightful, I'm sure intuitive bits of information that they've shared. So we'll talk about some of those soon. All right, that's it for today. Again, thank you very much. And you can find me at mysticaltruths.com.